Welcome to Small Talk Daily for Wednesday, October 2nd, 2008. This morning I'd like to go over style sheets and how you use them in Seaside. There are basically three ways of doing this. One is to implement a file library, and to do that I'm not going to go all the way through this, but if you come in here to the config and I select my application, you'll notice an add library, which is how we added the Scriptacular support. If there's a file library extant, you can add it, and then you can have URL references directly in your code that refer to the Seaside URLs that are defined in the file library. That's one way of doing it. You serve things directly out of Seaside that way. On the one hand, it's a great way of having self-contained applications. On the other hand, it kind of obviates the usage of something like Apache, which is really good at serving static resources like CSS files. So that's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it, which is really not production ready, is to do something simple like this. And that is to come into our application, and let's go down to our package. And let's go into our root component, and we'll add a style method. And our style method here is just something simple. Wherever I find an H1, I want it to be colored green. And I return this directly in line. You can see the tick marks here. It's just a string. So whatever CSS you know how to write, you can include it here. And it's put in at the top at the head level, so its scope is the entire HTML document. Let's see how that works by coming back to the browser and selecting Blog View. And now you notice this is, you'll notice this is green. And that's pretty much the way I wanted it. Now that's one way of doing this. Another way of doing this I'll show you by not running the code directly but bringing this workspace over. What you can do is implement an update root method. It takes this HTML root object as an argument, and you can hand it something like this. Add a style, get the style reference, and have the style reference just an import, and then you would presumably hand it an URL that would be handled by something like Apache or IIS or some other web server like that. And this gets added in before everything. This is how you do arbitrary importations of things that aren't directly supported in Seaside at this point in time. You know, a JavaScript library that you're wrapping yourself, some other kind of thing you want included in the header. Anything you want to put in, you could put it in this way. And in specific, if you want to put in a style sheet, this is probably the best way of doing it, because that way you'll have your web server statically serve up the style sheet and not have to worry about your dynamic application wasting its time doing that. So that's pretty much it for today. Hope you enjoyed that. And until next time, have fun with small talk.